In the 90s, two shows ruled Saturday night nightmares. They weren't just for kids, they were for the weird ones. The ones who stayed up too late, who stared too long at static, who thought Nickelodeon was just code for psychological warfare for minors. Goosebumps was Canada pretending to be America. Are You Afraid of the Dark was Canada pretending not to be possessed. Both were terrifying in totally different ways. One because of the stories, the other because of the production value. Both had theme songs that sounded like your soul leaving your body. Both made you question, why the fuck do they air after cartoons instead of therapy sessions? But only one reigned supreme. The undisputed king of childhood trauma. The show that taught an entire generation how to fear literally everything. Before A24 horror was a thing, before the Oscars decided horror was allowed to have humans, we had ages 8 and up horror. 2 networks, 2 visions, 1 goal: to scare the absolute shit out of latchkey kids eating Dunkaroos in the dark, wondering if the TV static was trying to talk back. Submitted for the approval of the YouTube Society, I call this story Goosebumps versus Are You Afraid of the Dark? The mid-90s was a golden age of CRT-covered fear. A time when parents were terrified of everything.
It's new teen mommy Darcy.
She has a baby, no job, where will she stay?
Satanic cults, violent video games, Marilyn Manson, Pokemon, and probably you.
What do you mean, every month? Honey, that's the glory of being a woman.
I'm not using these. I'm never using these.
No!
So, naturally, the studios sat around the table and said, what if we gave kids horror that teaches them a moral and sells lunchboxes? And just like that, the 90s safe scare boom was born. Nightmares, but make them marketable. Fear, but with a fucking merch line.
And before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it.
Goosebumps dropped on Fox Kids in 1995, fresh off of R.L. Stein's literary world domination. It wasn't just a show, it was a franchise attack. Every episode felt like a commercial break that somehow became sentient. Meanwhile, Are You Afraid of the Dark had already been creeping through Nickelodeon since 1992, imported straight from the cursed tundra of Canadian childhood trauma.
What exactly does Canada want?
We want more money. Yeah, more money.
If Goosebumps was commercial horror, fast, flashy, and full of monsters that you could slap on a lunchbox, then Are You Afraid of the Dark was atmospheric horror. Slow, quiet, and emotionally fucked in a way that you wouldn't understand until you were in your mid-20s.
It's all coming back, you understand? I don't like it. I don't like to think about it.
Goosebumps was the Halloween store aisle. Neon masks, fog machines, sugar buzz. Are You Afraid of the Dark was the cold air outside the store. That quiet dread that something's watching you leave.
He's just standing there, menacingly! Get out of there, SpongeBob!
Now, when it came to Goosebumps, it was loud, goofy, and drenched in green fog. It had the energy of a haunted house built in a strip mall. Actors sprinting through smoke machines, CGI lighting that looked like Windows 95 was trying to kill itself, and a soundtrack that screams like somebody threw a Casio down a flight of stairs. Everything was moving. Everything was yelling. It wasn't horror. It was chaos with a fog budget. Meanwhile, Are You Afraid of the Dark was patient. It believed in silence, in shadows, in moments where nothing happens, and somehow that's 10 times worse.
Whoa, 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 okay? Let's calm down now. Let's calm down, man. There ain't no need.
It didn't show you the monster. It let you build a monster in your head, and your brain is always picking something way more fucked up than any costume department ever could.
You shut up! You shut up! I'm so fucking scared right now, you shut up!
The clown and laughing in the dark. The whispering ghost and the lonely ghost. Those moments still hit, not because of jump scares, but because they felt like something that remembered you.
I'm so scared right now.
Goosebumps was like a roller coaster. Plastic skeletons, fake screams, and neon slime. Are You Afraid of the Dark was the empty carnival afterward. The lights off, the wind moving the rides, and you're still there realizing you might not be alone. Goosebumps said boo. Are You Afraid of the Dark said look behind you.
Where am I?
You're behind the couch.
What? How do you know that?
I can see your feet.
Story-wise, Goosebumps was pure chaos. Every episode, and sometimes even the books, felt like R.L. Stine pulled from a suggestion box filled with the insane ideas of a sugared-up 9-year-old and just ran with it. A sponge that eats people? A camera that kills? A kid who turns into a goddamn bee? Sure, why not?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
It didn't have to make sense. It just had to move. It was fun, fast, and allergic to self-awareness. The formula was sacred. Kids find scary thing, ignores the clearly cursed warning, screams for 20 minutes, twist ending, cue the theme song. Predictable? Absolutely. Effective? Every damn time.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Goosebumps was a playground in horror. It wasn't trying to scare you, it was just trying to be edgy fun. The scares were cheap, but the imagination was massive. It was a Saturday morning surrealism dressed up like horror. But Are You Afraid of the Dark? That was a whole different animal. That show had weight. It didn't care about slime or CGI skeletons. It cared about guilt, identity, grief. All the shit your parents said you'll understand when you're older. It wasn't just spooky stories. These were, we'll haunt you until you're 30 and can't explain why stories. Episodes like The Tale of the Shiny Red Bicycle wasn't even scary. It was just sad. They were about trauma, loss, the things you can't fix. Ghosts weren't monsters, they were memories that never left. It was horror that respected kids enough to fuck them up emotionally. No hand-holding, no see you next time. Just a quiet implication that life isn't fine and never really will be. Goosebumps told you not to open Pandora's box. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Told you the box was always opened, and it was your fault.
Okay, I've got a really good horror story, and it's particularly terrifying because it's true. All over the world, including our own, children, many of them just like you, are abducted and sold into the world of underground sex trafficking.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop you there, Danny boy. That is a scary story. Story time is over.
Now let's be honest, both shows had some truly cursed acting, but Goosebumps, that show embraced it. Every kid screamed like they were trying to win a lifetime supply of Lunchables. Every villain sounded like a mall magician who just got dumped and took it way too personally. It was over the top, under-directed, and absolutely glorious. Half the time, it felt like no one on set was sure if this was horror or a sketch show. And that confusion, that's the magic.
Just stay clear of Beach's caves, you hear me? I don't want you kids coming home with any broken bones.
Are You Afraid of the Dark, though? That was different. Yeah, the acting could be rough too, but it had style. Even when the lines didn't deliver very well, the camera work carried the scene. Those shadows, those slow zooms, that flicker of the campfire on a terrified kid's face. It felt like someone gave a damn about how fear looks. Like they actually understood that lighting could be scarier than any line of dialogue. And then, the monsters. That's where the gap between the two shows blows wide open. Goosebumps monsters look like Halloween costumes that came with free gum. You could practically hear the rubber squeaking when they moved. They were fun, marketable, and toyetic. A type of horror you could wear to school and not get suspended. But are you afraid of the dark? Those monsters look like they just came from somewhere else. Not Hollywood, not Canada, just somewhere wrong. The clown in the mirror, the ghastly grinner, the pale ghost girl who just wanted her coat back. These weren't boo scares, they were nightmares with names. You didn't laugh them off, you remembered them. They got in your head and stayed. Goosebumps was spooky fun, the kind of fear that burns off after the credits. Are You Afraid of the Dark was the reason you left the hallway light on, not because you were scared of the dark, but because the dark felt like it was waiting for you to blink.
Dumbass movie, man. A demon can possess any inanimate object? That's too general to be scary.
I mean, it's like, how you gonna have a demon posted up in a trash can?
I mean, you know, it's dumb.
It don't make no sense.
It's stupid.
It
You know what I'm
don't make
saying? It's
no
stupid.
sense.
It's stupid. It's unrealistic is what it is.
It's like, I ain't gonna be scared of no trash can.
When it comes to cultural impact and legacy, this is where Goosebumps just buries the competition. It wasn't a show, it was a fucking movement. Books, merch, board games, PC games, lunchboxes, pajamas. If it had a flat surface, R.L. Stein's name was printed on it. He was basically the Walt Disney of childhood anxiety.
I want the world. I want the whole world.
You didn't just watch Goosebumps, you breathed it. Even if you never saw a single episode, you owned a book, or your friend did, or your teacher confiscated one because the cover was too demonic. Goosebumps became the face of kid horror. It was Halloween with corporate funding. It was fear you could mass produce. Are You Afraid of the Dark never had that reach. It wasn't trying to. It stayed tucked in its haunted little corner of Nickelodeon. Less of a brand, more of a whisper. You didn't have action figures or Happy Meal toys. What it had was a vibe. A slow, creeping unease that stuck with you long after you forgot the episode's titles. Among the people who watched both, Are You Afraid had this weird reverence. Like a cult film you can't quite explain to anyone who wasn't there. It's not nostalgia, exactly. It's more like shared trauma with better lighting. Goosebumps made horror safe for kids. Are You Afraid of the Dark made it real. Both got their reboots, but only Goosebumps survived the pop culture blender. Movies, shows, memes, even iconic merch. It's timeless because it was never about the moment, it was about the brand. Meanwhile, every Are You Afraid of the Dark reboot dies on arrival. Maybe because that show's magic was tied to its era. The fog, the campfire, the innocence that made fear feel like a secret. It wasn't built for reboots, it was built for memory.
Get out of my brain!
Where am I?
What was that?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just had a nightmare. If I get paid up, little feet pics. On the feet finder, I'll tip you good. Just please get me home.
So, who wins? If we're talking nostalgia, Goosebumps, hands down. It's iconic. It's pop horror at its purest, dumbest, and most beautiful form. You can hum the theme song right now. Don't lie, you just did. It's that perfect mix of camp, chaos, and capitalism that defined the 90s. But if we're talking quality, tension storytelling, and actual fear, then Are You Afraid of the Dark? No contest. That show aids like a ghost story told around a campfire, timeless, quiet, and a little sad. It represents its audience enough to fuck with their emotions instead of just their reflexes. Goosebumps was a Halloween party. Sugar highs, rubber masks, fake blood. Are You Afraid of the Dark was a seance afterwards. The quiet parts, when you realize maybe you shouldn't have been playing with this shit in the first place. Goosebumps was about monsters. Are You Afraid of the Dark was about what makes people become them. Both mattered. Both defined what it meant to be scared as a kid. They didn't need gore. They didn't need shock value. They just needed that feeling, that primal electric chill that whispered, the dark might be hiding something. And you couldn't look away. You had to keep watching. Upon closing reflection, maybe that's why these shows still stuck with us. They were training wheels for fear. The first time we realized we liked being scared. The safe kind of scared. The TV will turn off eventually kind of scared.
Put your head in there! Put your head in the bowl!
They were low-stakes terror, bedtime nightmares you could handle, monsters that vanished as soon as the lights came on. Horror that didn't punish you, it played with you. It taught you that fear wasn't just something to survive, it was something to understand. And maybe that's what nostalgia really is, not some cozy trip down memory lane, but that quiet, desperate attempt to feel safe in the dark again. Because somewhere between the campfire glow and the glow of the TV screen, we learned that fear wasn't the enemy, it was the invitation. So tonight, if your TV flickers at midnight and you hear laughter echoing from the mirror, don't freak out. It's probably just a Goosebumps rerun blending through the static. Or maybe it isn't. Either way, submitted for the approval of the YouTube Society, this has been Goosebumps vs. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Now, go to bed. The dark's waiting. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, check out my first series on how influencers shouldn't influence. And if so, please like and subscribe, as it'll help me out greatly. Catch you on the next one.